I bet you didn't know how quickly tech empires can crumble. Welcome back to the Neural Network. Today we're talking about something that gives every tech CEO nightmares. Massive failures. We're not talking about small hiccups, not even minor dips in the stock market. We're talking about the big kahuna, the kind of catastrophic events that wipe out billions like overnight. One tweet, one glitch, one bad product, and poof, billions gone overnight. Imagine pouring years of your life, your sweat, your tears, into building a tech empire, only to see it crumble faster than you can refresh Twitter. It's brutal, it's cold, but most importantly, it makes for one heck of a story. So, buckle up, because we're diving deep into the world of tech's most expensive disasters. We're uncovering the how, the why, and the oh-so-juicy details of what went wrong. One tweet, one glitch, one bad product, and poof, billions gone overnight. Let's dive into tech's most expensive disasters. First up, we're kicking things off with a company that needs no introduction, Meta, formerly known as Facebook. Now, we all know Mark Zuckerberg and his massive social media empire, but even giants can stumble. Back in 2022, Meta experienced a stock market bloodbath, losing a jaw-dropping $230 billion in a single day. That's right, $230 billion, gone just like that. It was the biggest single-day loss for any publicly traded company in US history. Ouch! So what caused this epic downfall? Well, a perfect storm of factors came into play. Slowing user growth, increased competition, and of course, the infamous Apple privacy changes that hit Facebook's ad revenue like a wrecking ball. But it wasn't just external factors that contributed to Meta's woes. Remember the whole metaverse pivot? Yeah, that massive investment in a still unproven virtual reality world raised more than a few eyebrows. The metaverse bet is a long-term play, but investors weren't so sure, and the uncertainty sent shockwaves through the market. The lesson here? Even tech giants aren't immune to the forces of change. Next up, we're taking a look at WeWork, the company that promised to revolutionize the way we work. The idea was simple. Ditch the traditional office and embrace shared workspaces, all fueled by community and collaboration. For a while, it seemed like WeWork could do no wrong. They were valued at a staggering $47 billion, attracting investors like moths to a flame. But then, the cracks started to show. WeWork's business model, which relied heavily on long-term leases and short-term rentals, was bleeding cash. And then there were the questionable financial dealings and eccentric behavior of its founder, Adam Neumann. Let's just say, it wasn't a good look. The IPO was a disaster, investors got spooked, and the company's valuation plummeted. From a $47 billion darling to a cautionary tale, WeWork's downfall is a stark reminder that hype can only take you so far. Alright, let's talk about Theranos, a company that went from Silicon Valley darling to one of the biggest scandals in tech history. Elizabeth Holmes, the turtleneck-wearing founder, promised a revolution in healthcare with a device that could run hundreds of blood tests from just a single drop of blood. The promise was huge, attracting billions in investments and catapulting Holmes to rockstar status. But there was one tiny problem. The technology didn't actually work. Years of lies and deception followed, with Holmes and her team going to extraordinary lengths to cover up their fraudulent claims. But you can't hide from the truth forever. Whistleblowers emerged, investigations were launched, and the house of cards came crashing down. Theranos went from a $9 billion valuation to virtually worthless, leaving behind a trail of lawsuits and shattered dreams. The Theranos saga is a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked ambition and the importance of due diligence. FTX crypto crash and burn. Now let's dive into the wild world of cryptocurrency with the story of FTX, a cryptocurrency exchange that went from the top of the world to bankrupt in a matter of days. FTX was a major player in the crypto space, handling billions of dollars in transactions and attracting big-name investors. But beneath the surface, things were unraveling fast. Allegations of risky bets, leverage, and misuse of customer funds swirled around FTX and its founder, Sam Bankman-Fried. When news broke of potential insolvency, it triggered a massive bank run, with customers scrambling to withdraw their funds. The result? FTX went bankrupt in a spectacular implosion, sending shockwaves through the crypto market and shaking investor confidence. It's a stark reminder that even in the decentralized world of crypto, trust and transparency are paramount. Twitter tweeting into turmoil. Even the Bluebird wasn't safe from tech's turbulent skies. Twitter, the social media platform known for its 280-character bursts and trending topics, found itself in a tailspin after Elon Musk's tumultuous takeover. Musk, the billionaire entrepreneur behind Tesla and SpaceX, swooped in with a $44 billion acquisition, promising to unlock Twitter's potential. But the honeymoon was short-lived. Mass layoffs, controversial policy changes, and a chaotic rebranding to X left users and investors bewildered. The platform, once a hotbed for news and public discourse, saw an exodus of users and advertisers, put off by the uncertainty and Musk's often erratic leadership style. While it's too early to call it a complete failure, Twitter's story is a reminder that even the most established platforms are vulnerable in the ever-evolving tech landscape. Yahoo! From dot-com darling to distant memory. Remember Yahoo? Back in the early days of the internet, Yahoo was the king, the go-to portal for all things web. They were pioneers, connecting millions to information and each other. But as the internet evolved, Yahoo seemed to lose its way. Missed opportunities, failed acquisitions, and a lack of focus allowed competitors like Google to swoop in and steal their thunder. From a high of $125 billion, Yahoo's value dwindled to a fraction of its former glory. They were eventually acquired by Verizon for a mere $4.8 billion, a shadow of their former selves. Yahoo's story is a classic example of a company that failed to adapt to the changing tech landscape. Nokia, the unbreakable phone that broke. Before iPhones and Androids ruled the world, there was Nokia, the Finnish company that dominated the mobile phone market. Remember the Nokia 3110? That thing was practically indestructible. Nokia was known for its durable hardware, user-friendly interface, and of course that iconic Snake game. They were at the top of their game, selling millions of phones worldwide. But then, the smartphone revolution happened. Apple's iPhone burst onto the scene with its sleek design and innovative touchscreen technology. And Nokia, well, they didn't adapt quickly enough. They clung to their Symbian operating system for too long, failing to recognize the seismic shift in the market. By the time they tried to catch up, it was too late. Nokia's mobile phone business plummeted, and they eventually sold off to Microsoft in a desperate attempt to stay afloat. It's a stark reminder that even the mightiest can fall if they fail to innovate and adapt. BlackBerry RIP physical keyboard. Remember that satisfying click-clack of a physical keyboard? For a while, BlackBerry owned the smartphone market, especially among business professionals. Their phones were synonymous with productivity, security, and that addictive BBM messaging service. But just like Nokia, BlackBerry failed to see the touchscreen revolution coming. They stuck with their physical keyboards and BlackBerry OS, even as the world embraced iPhones and Androids. Their market share dwindled, their once loyal users jumped ship, and BlackBerry faded into obscurity. They made attempts to pivot, but it was too little, too late. The BlackBerry story teaches us that even in the fast-paced world of tech, nostalgia can be a dangerous thing. MySpace, Tom's friend request denied. Before Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, there was MySpace, the original social media giant. Remember customizing your profile with glittery GIFs and auto-playing music? Yeah, that was MySpace. For a while, MySpace was a place to be online. You could connect with friends, share your thoughts, and discover new music. But then a little company called Facebook came along. Facebook offered a cleaner interface, better privacy settings, and a more user-friendly experience. People flocked to Facebook in droves, leaving MySpace in the dust. MySpace tried to adapt, but it was too little, too late. They were acquired by News Corp, but they never regained their former glory. MySpace's decline is a reminder that in the world of social media, it's all about staying ahead of the curve. Enron, the OG corporate scandal. Last but not least, we're going old school with Enron, the energy giant that pulled off one of the biggest corporate scandals in history. This one's a doozy, folks. Enron was a Wall Street darling, praised for its innovative energy trading practices and sky-high profits. But behind the facade of success was a web of accounting fraud and corruption that would make your head spin. Enron executives used complex accounting tricks to hide billions of dollars in debt and inflate their earnings. They manipulated energy markets, driving up prices and lining their own pockets. But like all good things, the party had to end. Whistleblowers spoke up, investigations were launched, and the truth came crashing down. Enron filed for bankruptcy in 2001, its stock price plummeted to pennies, and its executives faced criminal charges. The Enron scandal sent shockwaves through the business world, leading to stricter accounting regulations and a renewed focus on corporate ethics. Tech's graveyard of dreams. So, there you have it, folks. 10 tech giants that lost billions, sometimes overnight. These stories are a sobering reminder that in the tech world, success is fleeting, and even the biggest giants can fall. It's a world of constant innovation, fierce competition, and ever-changing landscapes. What works today might be obsolete tomorrow, and the only constant is change. Which one shocked you the most? Comment below, and hit like, subscribe, and turn on that bell so you don't miss our next tech takedown.